Hello everyone and welcome to TWRL F2 today for the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm Diablo or James, and joining me today is F1XL Scar or Tom. So Tom, how are you doing, and what do you think we should be expecting in this race this evening?
Yeah, hello. Hello everyone, it's good to be back. It should be an interesting race. Racers like Jack Sparr and Swarm, I know they've been practicing, I believe, for China, so it will be an interesting race. Fireman had a good race in Japan. Hopefully he can get a good race here again. Yeah, should be very close.
Absolutely, I think a lot of the big guys in F2 are racing today. So, like you said, Pepsi, Emerald's racing. I don't think he should be ruled out. Swarm and of course Jack Sparr as well. Coxey isn't actually that bad, so it turns out he actually did half decent when I was racing last week in Japan. So he's definitely one to watch. The championship is looking quite big at the moment though, and it's looking towards Fireman's favour. Bit of an inspiration there, but he does lead the championship at the moment by a pretty big margin, and he's looked pretty comfortable so far this season. Looked pretty strong. I mean, I had my tussle with him in Australia, and seems to be pretty good, pretty racy then, and hopefully we get a race that's just as dramatic as what Tier 1 was yesterday, where the top two coming into the final corner were side by side and they took each other out, and in the end it was LK who came through and won that race. It was absolute scenes. If you haven't watched it, I urge you to go and watch it because it was absolutely fantastic.
It was very close up until the end.
Yeah, it was immense. So hopefully we get something like that again here today. And China is a good track for overtaking. It's not a bad track. Tyre wear though is a massive problem around here. One stop you can do, but your tyres, you know, you're going to feel it at the end. Those rear tyres, or especially the front left tyre, does go a bit worse to wear over the course of a race. So yeah, it's interesting.
Just talking more about that tyre wear, I think setup has a play in the whole race as well, because you opt for the setup that takes you down that long straight, or the twisty sector 1 and part of sector 2. And I think that's where the actual battle is going to take place. It's obviously going to be on the long straight where the overtakes are going to happen, but it's who comes on it first. Is it the people who manage to get that setup right in the corners and get a lead from there, or is it people who are just going to bomb it on the straights and take them out? Not take them out, sorry, take them over.
It is a weird one on a setup because you can run a lot lower wings on the front, although like you said, well, it will compromise your front end grip, as it were. So if you're running lower wings, then you're going to have a compromised front left tyre, as opposed to if you're running higher wings and you're going for the downforce. Trouble is, I think you've got to look at it on the perspective that what's going to probably, I think it's more acceleration that's going to give you that kick in this one. Although you've got that massive straight, you don't get a good run in down. There's there's a car round. I'm not sure who that is. It looked like a Renault, but
it's Emerald.
Emerald. And I mean, it is 1:30 in the morning for him, so we'll give him a bit of leeway. But yeah, there's our first lap time that's come through, and it's from Fireman, the 33.9. That's a pretty good effort to start his account off, but expect those times to come down as the due course of these laps go on. The two Ferraris looking like they're about to complete their lap as well. Underkit Cheetah goes into second place with a 34.5, so he's 0.6 of a second down on Fireman at the moment. And then into provisional pole goes Turtle, and that is more like it, to be honest. A 33.4, much faster than Fireman at this stage. Emerald comes through, he does complete a lap, not respectable. TWRL Pepsi does a 33.5, so Jack Sparr then comes across the line with a 33.0. That's a massive lap from Jack Sparr, who's had a rotten bit of luck, to be fair. Start of he knows he needs it, not a bad way to get started at all. A 33.0 is your provisional pole time for now, but as I said, expect those times to tumble. That's a good banker effort from these guys. Now, let's see what they're made of.
Interestingly, watching people coming through the start-finish line, it gives you a sense of you can out-qualify each other, but when it comes to the actual race, it's people like Swarm and Fireman. Yeah, they're not all the way up in the table, but especially Swarm, he manages to just sneak in and like just take position after position. And I think this is a very good track where this happens. It's nice and flowy. Yeah,
he's very consistent, Swarm, and you've got a race against him plenty. He's definitely got something that he's improved massively, because to be honest, he hasn't been league racing for an awful long time. To be honest, a lot of the people in this league haven't been league racing a long time, but I mean, I think when I look at experience in this league, you're looking at Jack Sparr, you're looking at Pepsi. These guys have been about the block for a while, and then Pepsi, oh my goodness me, that is close. 3,000th of a second between him and Jack Sparr. Between the top two, 3,000. That is 0.003 of a second. That is mighty close between Pepsi and Jack Sparr. And I don't believe TWRL Pepsi's had a pole position this season. But if he's going to get one, it would be a pretty good way to do so. There's only around 5.5 minutes of this session to go. And Ansman goes fast as the ball with 32.9. That's not even far away from TWRL Pepsi's time. That's under a tenth faster, just under a tenth faster than TWRL Pepsi at the moment. So he's very, very close to the standing. Let's see what the actual gap is. I'm going to take a look with this. I don't know. Music.
Oh wow, there is less than half a second in the top five.
Yeah, that is close. That is close. Between the top few cars, I mean, Ant-Man, that's a good effort, to be honest. I never really expected that, if I'm going to be honest, because Pepsi is a mighty quick driver. And as I said, Jack Sparr, these guys have been about the block for a while now. I mean, Jack Sparr's been around a few years, I'm pretty sure, league racing terms. I mean, TWRL Pepsi's got his pedigree, he's won championships in the past, he knows what he's doing. But, of course, he is probably one of the fastest assist kind of users, I think, out there. He's very quick on his day, he can be a very good driver. So, he's definitely one to look out for this race, I'm sure. But the best places, I feel, to make these opportunistic moves, which we should be seeing at this race, because it's close in qualifying, and hopefully their long race pace will be as well. Turn 14, which is the hairpin, just as before the final corner, and of course on turn 6, the hairpin at the end of the first sector. So that's another one. Pepsi's actually out of fuel, so he's going to be pushing it to see whether he can get that Mercedes back out on track for a proper pole lap. How close it is actually between the top 10. Actually, the top 10 alone covered by a second. That's ridiculous.
Close.
That is so close, yeah. I've not seen things like this for a long, long time, but that is really close. Between Ansman in pole and the championship leader Fireman in 10. Although 9/10 of a second can be found, I reckon. The track got a lot in the tank, and he is about to just because this is probably his final run in qualifying as he heads down towards turn 1. This tightens on you, and you can take two approaches. You can stick right on that apex, or you can go out wide to swing across it again like a tennis racket, if you will. And he comes through turn 4. This is now winding his way through a 270-degree corner, braking after the 100-metre ball towards turn 6, throwing that car in, clipping the apex, lovely on entry and on exit as well as they approach turn 7, where of course we saw Max Verstappen go for his absolute lunge on Hamilton. It didn't pay off. He's not taken the curb through turn 7. That doesn't matter because he can keep it tight through 8 and then maximise his run through 9 and 10 as he ends towards the end of the second sector. Now, this is a big corner, turns 11, 12 and 13. Well, basically turn 11, 12, 13, I suppose. This long right-hander, clip that curve on the inside, but you don't want to touch it on the outside. That will cost you dearly. You really, to be fair, want to stay as tight as you can towards with DRS. This, as I said, in the race can be so pivotal as to whether you can get the move done into turn 14, braking after 100 metres, but once again throwing the car in, but cannot get close to the curb on the inside, can on the outside. Just don't touch it because the traction can be an issue there. Some you may see in second, some you may see in first. And he takes the final corner excellently towards the line, but it is only enough for 4th place on the grid at the moment. And I'm not sure whether he could be too happy with that.
That was a very impressive lap, albeit he only got 4th, but very clean throughout the entire lap there. I think I'm just on with Jack Sparrow now. He's about to, obviously Pepsi have in a second. Jack Sparrow about to make his attempt again at getting that pole. Across the line he goes. It'll be interesting to see where he comes, because obviously, as you said, he's experienced. Of course, he's not. If he gets above second, Pepsi can't fight back because he's just exited from the line, essentially. So it's only Ant-Man.
I think Pepsi realised he had very little time to get anything, and he had no time. He ran out of fuel because he burned it all on the lap that he tried to set his first effort. And Jack Sparrow is actually on it looks like an absolute stonking lap at the moment. That Ferrari is on rails through at the moment. He just cannot afford to make any errors now. Just keeping it absolutely flat, keeping his foot to the ground, keeping his finger all the way to the trigger, I should imagine. And P1 has gone Swarm with a 32.9 and 500ths of a second faster than Ant-Man. And the Toro Rosso, as he said, has come out of nowhere to sling a lap into pole position. Good effort, friend, from Swarm in the Toro Rosso, but it's not over yet. There's plenty of guys still out on a lap. Emerald's another one, and he's gone provisional pole. 32.7. Pretty from what we saw sideways. And Jack Sparrow's retired, and he's binned it. Where's his bin hole?
He's binned it himself. He had his Ferrari teammate was in front of him, and I think it slowed him up a bit, so he had to back out. But that was unfortunate.
Ant-Man will be the next. Oh, he's locked up going into turn 14. That's not going to make a good run. He's got a little bit sideways on the exit. Byman's only 6th, Jack Sparrow only 5th, Pepsi 4th at the moment. Ant-Man is 3rd, but can he get it at Sauber onto pole? No, he cannot, and only by a 10th of a second, but he is just on pole position. And that could be a stellar lap from Exploding Emerald, who could just put this car on pole. Coxey will come across the line, and that is his qualifying session over. I don't think anybody else is really going to have a shot at this. Yeah, and he's 6P12, and that is qualifying over. What an effort from Exploding Emerald. He will start from in TWRL F2, the reserve driver. Let's not forget, Ant-Man will join him on the front row. Great effort from Swarm to get it onto the road 2 ahead of Pepsi. Jack Sparrow will start from 5th. To be fair, a respectable effort from 5th place. Feynman, the championship leader, only 6th on the grid. Coxey will start from 7th. Turtle will line up 8th ahead of Kenny on in 9th place. And Seagull will round out the top 10. But interestingly enough, 7/10 of a second separating the top 9 and a second separating the top 10 in general. So it's pretty close between everyone at the top. This is going to be a very exciting Chinese Grand Prix, and you're joining us. If you're just joining us, it is F2, it is TWRL, and it is China, and it is raining. So there is a lot. Actually, that's a bit interesting. I'd have thought that they would have decided to go on another lap, another run, just to see whether or not they could, stretch out those signals. Because, of course, they're not going to be using them now, because they'll all start, I should imagine, on those green-walled intermediate tyres. Don't expect some amazing starts. That's all I'll say.
I think Kenny here. He was in tier 3, I believe. I think he was in tier 3. So it'll be interesting to see how he does.
5
anyway.
red lights. Let's go racing in China. It's lights out and away we go. Emerald looks like he's got a pretty good launch off the front row. He's now just got to hold off Antsman as they head towards turn one. Swarm's not a great start. He's going to be swamped by that Mercedes if he's not careful. And Jack Sparrow will make it 3 wide into the first corner, and he's made contact. And one of the Mercedes and Red Bulls round as well. In the background, the two Ferrari 6th place is Jack Sparrow. So he's not lost an awful amount. But No Scopes has got the best start from 12th on the grid. He's P5 at the moment. What a start then from No Scope. And Jack Sparrow diving down the inside, looking to make a move. Someone has gone tremendously wide through the first few corners. That's Antsman down into third. Swarm up into second place. It's a tremendous getaway from Jack Sparrow side by side with No Scope as they come through turn 8, and he's just not going to let that position down, is he? Keeps his 5th place, and he's back up the inside now. No Scope, but he's pushing Jack Sparrow wide, costing him now to Fireman, the championship leader. Can he get a move done in towards turn 9? Turn 10, I should say. He's not going to quite get it done. Turtle will look to get a move done as well. Jack Sparrow late on the brakes. He's just cost Fireman there, and he's lost his front wing now. Has Fireman all gone wrong then for Jack Sparrow? He's been involved in everything on the opening lap of this Chinese Grand Prix.
Yes, and it was interesting as in one also there was bunched up. I couldn't tell who caused what, but I saw debris in some places all tight. I saw cars going sideways. Very interesting then on the opening lap of F2 in China. Ooh. Here and there's a Sauber.
Antsman's gone. Yeah, it's Antsman, he's spun it red, and now No Scopes, he's going to get swamped by McLaren and the Ferrari. He's going to go side by side, 3 wide. Surely not. Oh my goodness me, they've all got through. No Scope, what a lap. Goes into 4th place, and Turtle's now dropped back. Fireman hasn't come into the pits. I thought he lost a bit of his front wing there, but it turns out he maybe hasn't. Antsman once again looking on the offensive, trying to get back past No Scope, who's had an aggressive start to say the least. And Troll is near in the middle, being squeezed by Fireman and Turtle. It's all kicking off in the midfield, and I think Turtle's just about going to hold on here. No Scope holding on for 4th, but goodness gracious me, Emerald has bolted away at the front. He doesn't want to get involved in that. He's miles ahead, 2.2 seconds ahead of Swarm. Pepsi is 3rd, and he nearly got himself into a little bit of action. It's 3.9 seconds already back to No Scope, and Antsman is all over him. He really is. I'm not sure where he's going to plan to make this move, but the traction is. But if these guys are running traction, if some are running traction, you're definitely going to see it as a visible factor here, because they look so easy to put the foot down in these wet conditions.
I think what a big factor here is during qualifying it was dry, so everyone has a lighter per se setup in terms of the actual track, because now that it's wet, downforce is going to be a major factor, but of course no one's got any downforce. They've gone for a much more casual setup.
A dry setup, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting is to see who can take advantage of this and who is the better dry setup on a wet.
It is interesting to note that, actually. That is a pretty good point. I mean, these guys all on the dry setup, and you would imagine none of them would have really ventured out for the wet setup unless they didn't set a representative time. I feel like the guys who started further back and the guys who didn't set a lap will get that choice now. Turtle down the inside into turn 1, can't quite get it done on No Scope, but he gave it a good go. The 2 Force India's squabbled away. Trolled is up there in 7th place at the moment, and it looks like No Scope is under pressure again from Turtle, who's trying to go side by side with him, but nothing happening between those two yet. Can Turtle get a good run and maybe get a move done towards turn 6? No Scope will now start dropping like flies. Let's see if Turtle can get it done. He's just, that's a lovely switchback. I mean, get it done. Oh yes, he can. What a lovely switchback that is. Moves himself into P5, and No Scope has dropped all the way to 6th place. If you want an update on Jack Sparrow, I think he's at the moment. Of course, he was in a bit of elbows out, to be honest, between him and No Scope, and it was a bit aggressive. It probably will get noted because it was very, very aggressive the way that he was coming through. But let's not concentrate on that. Let's concentrate on what could be towards the front of front, I should say. Emerald, as I say, bolting away. 3.8 seconds the lead he has over Swarm in second. Pepsi looks like he's trying to make a fight of this up to TWRL, so he's 1.9 seconds back, and he is P3. Ant-Man is 3 seconds further back from him. He is P4 at the moment. So all these cars, it's probably the closest battle we're looking at. It's for P6, and Turtle's gone deep in towards turn 14, and nothing is going to come of it. He could have lost the position there to no scope, but didn't. That McLaren holding his own, and I think Ant-Man's going wide again as well. The gap between the top two. He is John Emerald. He didn't want to get involved in any of that. What a start. Actually really impressed by that. It's now 24 laps to go, of course. We're only on lap 4. Plenty of time for these guys to make their way in this race. There is plenty of time. There's still plenty of time for errors. So let's say that a 4.2 second is a huge gap. Because of course these guys will actually have to pit as well. If you start on intermediates, there's no way you're going to hold your ratio. It's not possible. Cameron Wins has binned it at turn 2.
That isn't better.
Only running in a lonely 11th or so position, but even so, there's still points to be gained. Yeah. Well, that means that Jack Spartan moves up another position. To be honest, he's done a pretty good job so far on this set of tyres. He's now 14 seconds behind Big Will, and I think Big Will seems a long way back. See, at the moment, and all these gaps seem to become a lot bigger than potentially we wanted. But Seagull is over the back of
IVXR.
Yeah, IVXR, whatever. That's not a great name, but anyway, Seagull looks like he's going to try and get a move done on him here. Maybe you will go for Ricardo late braking. I think this rain's got heavier. I genuinely think it might have got heavier. I could be wrong, but it definitely doesn't look as appealing as what it did at the start of the race. These guys you could expect to see them, I should say, bolt in, and one of them has. Who is this man going to be for? Who is this? Hamilton. Yeah, Seagull. I mean, if you've got a name like that, you should be prone to these conditions, but he hasn't so far. Let's see if he's going to bolt on a set of wet tyres, because this could be a good call from him.
Coxie and Cheetah, sorry to interrupt you there. Cheetah looks to be having the better exit out of there, but yeah, Cheetah fights back that position and gets 10th off of that, out of that long right and left, and is well away out of Coxie's sight then. But Coxie, is he looking back, trying to fight back for more? No, it doesn't seem so. Coming out of that corner there, then it seems Cheetah won that, and that's done and dusted, it seems, for now. Interestingly, I just want to point out that it seems that a lot of the drivers are starting to slide about a bit. So what you said about it getting heavier, it does seem like that. Maybe not visually, but in terms of feeling of the car, possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Wet, not really, but it's getting there, it seems.
I think it could be a wet period even now. I don't think that's a move. Which of these guys just sits on those? As we say, this is Thornton stays out and Emerald stays out. Will Swarm stay out? I imagine he would do. Yes, he does. And that gap now between third and fourth is only half a second. So somehow Ant-Man, who was miles back from Pepsi, already within 0.2 of a second of him. He may even look to get a move done into the first corner. He won't go for that because he knows he's got time in this race. He doesn't need to go for that as early as he is, but he's now going through turn 2. Now they're going to go side by side. He's going to yield first, but I don't think either of them will. Can Ant-Man get him on the exit then of the corner? I'm not sure if he's going to be able to have really hassled him. Yes, he is. He's just trying to keep his front wing in there, giving him a statement of intent as they head down towards turn 6. Will he go for a late lunge? No, he will not, because of course these people, they do seem a bit wiser than most, and they don't, of course, want to ruin their race like that. And the Ferrari going absolutely miles off the circuit behind, and Pepsi to get mugged off here. Round the outside goes Ant-Man, it could be through turn 8. He's got it on the inside now. He just needs to keep it. Pepsi's keeping him on the inside again. Then through turn 9, and can Ant-Man get a good enough run through the exit of turn 10? They're still side by side. Who's going to give in first? I don't think that Pepsi, he hasn't given up there, as he's keeping his foot well in there, but he lost a lot of grip through turn 7, which could have cost him dear through 8, and he went side by side with Ant-Man, but they'll go side by side nearly again through the top part of the circuit, and it'll be interesting down towards turn 14. Who will get this move all sorted out? Can Ant-Man get this move done? He needs to sort it out quickly, because if there's a pit stop window available to these guys, he can't afford to be behind the Mercedes. As he then dives down the inside in towards turn 14, goes late on the brakes, and he's cut the corner. That's a 10 second penalty. That's a bit much, but yeah, that does mean a little bit more than in the terms of this battle. It's not as pivotal unless he can pull out a bit of a margin on lap 7, and Emerald is 7.3 seconds out in front, so he is dominating at the moment. Ant-Man back up the inside of Pepsi's giving him the space. Now can Ant-Man get him back on the traction? If he can get that car on the wet parts of the circuit, to be honest, he may find a little bit more in terms of keeping his tyres cool, and they've got to watch out for Turtle behind as well, because he's not that far behind from this scraps. They don't really want to get him braking too much, and Ant-Man is so late on the brakes and nearly ran straight into the back of Pepsi. Not quite close enough though to really or even make a move, but he didn't nearly make a move. He nearly just binned it straight into the back of the Mercedes, which would have been interesting. Pepsi cutting across him through turn 8 now as they head towards turn 9 and 10, and it's going to be interesting. Do you know what this is going to mean with this race? Of course, as I said, all these guys will need to make a pit stop at least once this race. But
due to Jack Spa and Kane, Jack Spa and Cheetah originally, they're the first on the wets.
Yeah.
So they were the first to make that decision. So possibly is everyone going to follow suit?
You really want to keep an eye on the I don't really know what to go by. It's just whether the leaders come in now, and Emerald stays out. Will Swarm stay out as well? It's a very weird period, this. It's a transition kind of period, and this is what can catch a lot of drivers out. Swarm comes in from second then. He's into the pits, and has Emerald bottled this race, because he's not come into the pits. He stayed out on intermediate tires. Pepsi has stayed out as well, and Ant-Man has also stayed out. Is Swarm then going on a set of inters? Is he going to risk a set of wets? Is he going to go for that move? That's a huge gamble from Toro Rosso. He looks like, yes, he is going on to those. Ant-Man is up the inside of Pepsi again. He's still scrapping away for P2, and Pepsi isn't giving in on Ant-Man now, and Ant-Man will have inevitably, he'll just have to keep this, will he? No, he will not give in. He will give it a good go in towards turn 6, will he? No, he's not quite close enough. He isn't brave enough to go late enough on the brakes to make that move stick, but a lot of guys coming in for wet tyres now, Tom, so this could be a big chance in Swarm's race, really. He could now take the lead if he gets a good enough outlap. That's how big this is. That's how big a margin these wet tyres can be.
For sure, and obviously Swarm is in 5th, and he is the most. I don't know how to put it. Sorry, he's the furthest in terms of the standings right now on the wets.
Highest in the standings.
The top 4
on wet tyres.
The top 4 all on inters. So obviously you've got the battle between Pepsi and Ants. Are they going to pit? We're not sure. Very close coming to the back straight though. So is the way it is, and if they do pit, that might put Swarm on top. Possibly. He is 30 seconds behind.
Emerald staying out another lap. That's huge. Well, what will Pepsi and Ant-Man do now? Let's have a look. Let's see what they're going to do. These two still squabbling away for second. It means nothing because, of course, there's a 10-second penalty for the Sauber. But will these guys come in? No, they won't. So this could... Whoa! Ant-Man losing on the exit, the final corner, and Troll's in. He's making his pit stop call now. Now, will Swarm be able... I'm going to check this for you because I don't want you to interrupt the stream, but look at the last lap time from Emerald. His last 2 lap times a 51.1 and a 51.5. Check out the outlap. It's probably not great that we check the outlap of Swarms. We'll check his next lap just to see if he's making any sort of gains on these race leaders. It's still within a second between Pepsi and Antsman. This is a really good strategic race so far from already. It's just who's going to play the better strategy, who's going to bring it out of the bag now, and who is, are these wet tyres the right compound of tyre? Because at the moment, if you look at the timing screens, he's actually bringing this gap down, Swarm. It's now 14.8 seconds between him and Antsman, and that gap is always dropping. It's never increasing. It's around 30 seconds between him and Emerald. So Emerald's going to have to make a big call this lap. He needs potentially to come into the pits.
With this pit lane in China, it's not long, but it's not short either. It's the entrance that I think is where you lose most time, because you've got to put heavy braking into the front of the car.
Oh, safety car.
Oh, what's happened? I think that was Kane, because he retired. So obviously this now changes the game completely, because this basically gives a top 3 a free pass, essentially.
Yeah, so Emerald, yeah, it does. Emerald's into the pits. Will Pepsi follow suit? Let's see what the car window. The car has been deployed. That is a big call in this race. It does mean then that Swamp will, he'll keep his 4th place, but it may only be 4th place. He may not gain any more from that. Let's see what Emerald decides to do. What set of tyres? He's going on to wets. Okay, so Emerald is following like everybody else. Yeah, they're all in, and it makes a whole deal of sense as well. They can't afford really to lose any more time. The Sauber goes so late on the brakes into the pit lane. It's Pepsi who comes in first and will get service, and he's changing his front wing, which may suggest why he wasn't as fast as previously expected. So maybe Swarm is coming through. Will he take the lead of this race? No, he will not. Where's Emerald? He's coming through turn 2. So Emerald has held on then to the lead of this race. Swarm is still P2, but he could have gained so much more. Yeah, Turtle's through into 3rd place. Where's anybody else? This is actually really good news. Troll's also got the jump. Troll's got the jump on Pepsi. I'm pretty expecting head of Pepsi, and he may find himself in a pretty vulnerable position when Pepsi gets this race gets back underway. I'm interested, is it a full safety car, or is it no, it is a full safety car. I wasn't sure whether it was a VSC.
Great decision from Ants. He's stayed on the inters. I don't know if that was a mistake on his part with the garage and telling the mechanics, or maybe it is a strategy call. I'm not sure. Getting that. Some people like it sliding in the corners. I personally don't. I like a nice stable with a slight oversteer, but interesting call. This obviously might hinder him at some points.
It may well do. Jack Sparrow, if you're interested, is up into 12th place at the moment, so he is making his fight back through the field. Feynman is P10 as well, the championship leader. He has not had a great race so far, but the safety car is going to help him out. He is on wet tyres himself in the Force India, but he's not been out qualified. He's been currently outperforming his teammate Troll, but that's no fault of his own for Feynman so far. So I think we can really venture for there. The safety car is out now. Jack Sparrow's off the session. That is not good news for him unless he can get back into the session. Really do hope that he can, because
he's had a stellar start. Obviously not the start he wanted completely, but the way he's managed to recover.
It would be. I'm only interested to see his progress, because the safety car's out now. And if there was anything that was really going to help in this race, it would be a safety car. And I feel like he may have had the pace really to go for these guys at the front. So, he's not completely out of it yet, but he's just going to make sure these guys can keep themselves interested, keep themselves occupied with each other. Because at the moment, his teammate Turtle is in the Ferrari, he's in P3. He isn't doing a bad job for the Ferrari team at the moment. Of course, the top 2 tiers, I'm pretty sure, have their points to their standings. So let's just take a look as to what kind of means. At the moment, Force India are currently leading the Constructors' Championship from Ferrari. Mercedes are 3rd at the moment, but it is very close at the top. Force India in first on 108, Mercedes with 94, so just 14 points in it, which in a Constructors' battle is in essence nothing. So That is pretty close. To be fair, the battle for fourth is raging on as well. Constructors' Championship. Red Bull, Toro Rosso, and McLaren. Only 7 points separate those. And they're not too far away from any of those top 3 positions, to be honest, because you've got 30 or so points. You've just got to keep a good couple of races and you're well within the shot. So it is very possible. The safety car is out on circuit. Not really too much to delve into, but we could do a little bit, maybe even analysis here, because if we compare the lap times of some of those tyres on that final a 51.5 on those, really, and Swarm has been doing a 56. So actually it's not as big as what I thought. Emerald was still keeping a pretty good advantage. It's kind of difficult to tell because there's a weird transition. But yeah, all these guys staying as it was. So to take you through the order as it is. So Emerald leads from Swarm in second. Third at the moment is Turtle. Fourth is Ant-Man. On those intermediate compound tyres, which well, we're both pretty shocked. Fifth is Troll at the moment. Sixth is Pepsi. Seventh is No Scope. So he had that great start from 12th on the grid. And EVXR is in P8 with Coxie P9. Cheetah rounds off the points at the moment. Championship leader Feynman fired up and ready to take a position away from him. He's currently P11 Feynman. Jack Spark is 12th. Unless he can get back in the lobby, he won't be in this race. Seagull is into the pits again. I'm not sure why that would be. Big Will is he's still yet to catch him.
He's not got any damage. He's going on instance. Why is he going on instance?
Oh, okay. Seagull going on the intermediate compound tyre. Maybe Ant-Man was right. Maybe the Ince is the best tyre at the moment. I don't think they are because this track looks far too wet.
Way too wet.
Sprays a lot. So it's a bit of a bold call, really. Safety car should be coming in. Maybe the end of this lap. It's not definitely the next lap. And it's all about the restart as well now. Can Emerald get that pass to really maximise the advantage? I don't really. We've seen safety cars in real life F1 this year, and they've cost people races. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it's costing Emerald this win. Yeah, the safety car is in this lap, so it is into the pits at the end of this lap. Emerald will have to bunch the field up, and hopefully he can get that all sorted out. It's all about his restart now, Emerald. He can't afford to have a sloppy restart. He knows he needs to go. Jack Sparr's back in the lobby, which is good news for him and means he's got a chance in this race still. It's not over, and then he exits the lobby straight away. And we're getting ready to go racing. It's all bunching as well now. Let's see how this restart will go. You can really dab this brake and see how much you dare go. And the safety car line is just, I'm pretty sure, after the second to last corner. These guys can go racing just before. It's all about when the safety car. Yeah, he's back racing again then in China, and everyone seems not to have had a great start, have they? But
we're still on the safety car thing.
Are we? I don't. No, I think we're definitely over now. And yeah, we are now back racing. It is a lead that Emerald wanted. A stunning restart. He's got away from the pack. Swarm in second place. It's third for Turtle at the moment. Fourth is Ant-Man, but that won't be for long. Troll down the outside. He goes, going to get this move all sorted out. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to keep it all there because the traction in this sound was not going to be enough to hold off at Force India. Up the inside goes Troll. Can he get it for fourth place? He will. Pepsi's going to be the man to watch though. On the exit of the corner, they all make contact nearly. Not quite enough. Pepsi then will be on a charge. He's currently fifth at the moment. Can he get up the inside? Maybe hassling in towards turn 6. Yes, he will. He's thrown right the inside. Pepsi. And on the Force India, he's going to get the move done. They're side by side on the exit. Then Pepsi makes sure of it and gets himself into fourth place. A great move from the Mercedes driver, and he's now going to have to watch his mirrors because these guys look feisty behind. And we will, of course, want to see those top few cars. Swarm is keeping within a second of the moment. He knows what he needs to do. He can't allow this house to bolt away at the front. Because the moment he doesn't look like he can be caught in this race. We're about half distance, and only half distance in this race. It feels like it's gone on for an eternity. But that 13 of 28 so far. Emerald leads from Swarm, and it's now 1.3 seconds. That gap is coming out. And Troll seems a little bit too far back to get a move done on Pepsi as well.
Idiots on, sorry, No Scopes and Cheetah swapping places there. It's all very bunched up. The Williams, the Force India, and the McLaren there. Fireman, I think he had a really bad restart under that safety car. I think he dropped back.
Oh, he's gone for it now, though.
Yeah, No Scopes has been taken by Fireman. Unlucky for him. He'll obviously want to regain that position back, but Fireman closely on Cheetah's back of the car there.
Yeah, it's pretty close at the moment. Cheetah nearly coming across him through turn 2, and he's not. He looks so unstable, that Williams. He doesn't look like he can keep it in a straight line at the moment. But he's going to go side by side with the championship leader. Fireman needs these points a lot more than he does. But that will not be on the mind of Cheetah at the moment. He's going to go for the and no scope down the inside of both of them. They may go 3 wide.
That was very close.
That could have ended in absolute tears for the Fireman. As much as it could for the Kit Cheetah, and it could for, of course, the McLaren himself. So, yeah, that could have gone badly wrong. But now Cheetah is again just trying to hold his nerve. The Renault of the Sauber are going wheel to wheel as well. But this is, that's a battle for 6th place. It ends there, though, at the expense of it being pretty much as they were staying in almost a queue, if you want to call it that. But we're at half distance now, and it's Emerald still leading. Again, it's just pulling away. 2.6 seconds is the lead he has over Swan. Fireman now is actually all over the back of the Kit Cheetah again as they head down towards turn 14. I think that maybe the Kit Cheetah is running lower wings because he seems to be pulling a little bit further away in this one. Will Snowscope go for it on the inside? He won't. EVXR. Yeah, he's gone for an absolute lunge and he's lost out there, and he's now going to lose out again to Cheetah, and these two going side by side. Cheetah forced out wide, and maybe to, in essence, another country of how far wide he's going. To Fireman's down the middle of both of them. He's going to make a move on one. Can he get it both on two? He's up the inside. On the outside, I should say. Isn't going to get a move done on Cheetah there. He's looking racy though, Fireman. And there's no contact between the two. Yes, there is. The Renault and the Williams. And Fireman get the position.
They're locked.
He's just. Yeah, they're pushing their way through now, and it's all allowing Outspan to get away, but Fireman is into 8th place, going to get a move done, and the Williams back on the inside in the two of them. Oh, what's a move that is if he can get it done, and there's all contact at the end of it, and No Scope should take advantage of all of it.
Yeah, No Scope just came out of nowhere out of that little battle there. So close between the battle for 7th right now. Obviously, the Fireman, the championship leader right now, all the way at the back of that little battle there. This is not good for him. He needs to be up there to extend his lead. Even by the slightest, he wants to be able to get as much points as possible. And it does not seem to be going his way, as EVXR then is the winner, so-called, out of that little fight there. This is only one battle for the rest of what is the war. Oh no!
Binned it through the top of the track. Not what he would have wanted. Pepsi's looking racy on the back of Turtle. Meanwhile, this is a battle for the podium position, the final podium position. And Pepsi, who hasn't. Someone's come in. That is Turtle, who's made his pit stop. I think he's coming for inters. There's no way he's going to another set of wets. It could be another brilliant call then. Has he?
I think so, front left wing.
Could be. Let's see, he's on to intermediate tyres, he's not changed his front wing. That's Turtle then will drop to 9th. At the moment he could still be in the points. Big Will is coming through the final corner. It's going to be close, but I don't think it's really close enough. Turtle then comes out in 10th place on those intermediate tyres. That is a good call from the Ferrari. This rain looks like it's starting to ease up a little bit. We had that sharp spell of rain, and it's now starting to, the precipitation is lower than what it was. Big Will is looking for a point at the moment. They'll have to do a lot more than what he's currently doing to be able to get that point, because Turtle is gone now. There's no way we'll be catching him anytime soon. He's off in the distance. This could keep him ahead of TWRL Pepsi, but we want to be watching what those guys do now as well. These guys, you know, there's a big call to be made by one of them. I feel like this rain has just cleared up so quickly that I think they're all diving into this. I think they'd be pretty stupid.
It is almost non-existent.
Yeah. We could be in for a dry spell at the end if it all stays like this. I kind of hope that we do, because again, just throw open the strategy to see what could potentially be. And Emerald is I want to check if Emerald's going to come to the pit at the end of this lap, and he doesn't. He stays out, so he will stay out for another lap. What about Swarm? What will he do? He'll also stay out. Pepsi comes in.
He dives in.
So he feels like he can maybe get an undercut, but he maybe not getting an undercut if he lures Hamilton into the pit lane. That's not what he wanted to do. Trolled in as well from P4. Ant-Man may be the big gainer out of all of this, because of course he's going to have he may even win this race from now, because he stayed on those intermediate tyres. This could be the moment that we see him take the lead. He's only 11, in essence 16 seconds off Emerald. That's so much lower than what it needs to be for a pit stop. He'll come out with a fair bit of time to spare will Ant-Man at the moment, so it's all looking in his favour. Pyman in as well into the pits as Pepsi is out, and he's ahead of Turtle, so he actually jumped him. Amazing how he's managed to jump the Ferrari, but the Mercedes has got ahead of him here, and that is not what Turtle will want to see. Of course, he can still, these two can both gain positions on those guys ahead of them, the Swarm and Emerald. But will it be enough for one? Turtle's looking on the move on the inside on Pepsi 6. And Big Will tired from the and he's down a long way back as well. But let's see where these guys are going to come out now as well. These two, the Ferrari and Mercedes, are going to be the ones that really, they could still gain a lot from this. 11 laps to go in this race. This is maybe the turning point, the pivotal moment. That safety car kind of has thrown this race open, because without it, we may not have seen, you know, this rain would have come obviously at the same time, but it would have come maybe perhaps earlier, which would have maybe revised the strategy up. Still, it's a pretty amazing race that we're having so far, so let's not complain. Forms into the pits, and the safety car is out again.
What happened there?
Yeah, and Emerald's already gone through the first corner. He's already gone through. So what will happen here? This means that everyone else will have to overtake the safety car in order to get back in their normal positions. But it doesn't matter for Swarm, because he's now out on intermediate tyres, and it actually could mean quite a bit for him, because he now needs to watch Emerald, who will be bolting out front. Pepsi into third, then ahead of Turtle. Ant-Man has come in for another set, and he's been jumped by Troll. Troll has come out in 5th place, and Ant-Man is now 6th. Good effort from Troll in the Force India then to get ahead of Ant-Man, who came into the pits for a new set of inters. Now, that could just be so he's got a lot of pace towards the end, and this guy definitely has got a bit of pace in that Sauber. Let's just see how this will all play out, and they will be allowed to overtake the safety car. Troll nearly ran in straight to the back of the safety car, and Ant-Man will have to let Troll back through, rightly so, but he nearly ran straight into the back of that safety car. And Emerald, because everybody else around come in, and I would imagine that he'll come in and try and make this pit work. He's driven a fantastic race, absolutely stellar race. Every opportunity he's had to come into the pits, he's made it work. And he may make it work again here now. So will he come in? Yes, he will. Pass, dives into the pits, knows he doesn't need to be overly aggressive, although it all depends on the gap to Swarm. This is probably what may, well, it won't mean anything now actually, but maybe Swarm could jump in the pits. Who knows? I don't think he will. I think that rain is definitely clearing up as well. We could actually see a dry end to this race. We could see the slicks being brought out, but that rain will have to clear off the track.
EBXR spun under the safety car on the straight. That's put him down to 10th. Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's not something So that he, as of now, he only has a single point to his name in this race, but that is not that he's safe to fight for it back. So disappointing for him. I just wanted to make a quick note. Obviously, we're on the safety car now. Fuel obviously can be given back because it's all put in lead. But a lot of these drivers, they haven't been able to put enough fuel in. So I've seen, especially Ants-Maz, I've seen him been fighting with his amount of fuel. I think he's just underestimating the amount of fuel that you need.
Turtle's also in a scenario where he's got a lot, he's on a bit of a warning with fuel. Not got a lot of it, but a lot of guys still have a lot of fuel left in reserve. These first few guys, in fact, is well set on fuel, so they can be okay. The safety car is, of course, out. Swarm will close up to the back of Exploding Emerald, but he knows this time, this is the big thing for Swarm now. He knows he needs to really go for this because he's got nothing to lose now. One lap to go this Grand Prix, and if we remember to his Grand Prix when safety car came out, it changed the race, didn't it? Daniel Ricciardo came in, bolted a set of slicks on, and of course went on and won the race. Of course, that's not going to happen here, but he just needs a good restart. He needs to really hassle Emerald with his safety car now, and when we get back racing, of course. Pepsi is there, Turtle is fourth, Troll in fifth. Anybody could still get a podium out of this race. It's completely open. It's swung right back into the mix, and Fireman is up in seventh at the moment, so his fight back through the field isn't over just yet. He still could gain some valuable points in his championship efforts. To keep you updated on that championship battle, of course, he leads the championship, as I say, 61 points to Pepsi's 37 points. So really, there is a fair gap between the two of them, but it's not one that you can really lie your morals on. No Scope, another big effort from No Scope. He's actually really fighting a championship rival as well. People like Turtle and Troll, Turtle won the first race of the season, and Troll managed to get a podium in that race. So there's podiums really being dotted around everywhere so far, but none have been dotted out towards the face of Exploding Emerald, who this is actually a mega drive. I'm actually so happy that he's doing the way he is. He shouldn't be biased as a commentator, but really it's a brilliant effort to see a man who's now up at, well, it's got to be around +2 his time, and he's just so dedicated to what he's doing in League Race, hoping that he can get the very most out of the car whenever he can. And he seemed, even as a reserve tonight, he was on standby ready to go racing in F2, which is a fantastic thing to see. The league really does provide some fantastic racing. When you've got drivers like this who are so committed, it makes it even better to be a part of it. And Emerald, of course, leading this race at the moment from Swarm, can't describe sound effort. These kind of results ultimately got away from Swarm, I think, last season when I was going for the championship with him, and we lost out to Fred, but ultimately it was races like this where he did need to get the podiums, and that maybe would have given him a real chance. So maybe this season, given the chance, he'll go for his championship again. Pepsi third, going for his first F2 championship in TWRL. Everything to play for in this as well. Hopefully I'll be back racing next week, so if it's anything like this, I'm well up for it. Turtle is fourth with Troll fifth, and Ant-Man is sixth, and all these guys still go, and then Hyman has got himself a drive-through penalty, which he will not be able to serve under the safety car, which is a big kick in the teeth. The safety car stays out for another lap. We're on lap 20 of 28 if you're in the chat. Don't forget to let us know. It's not over yet because there are still a few protagonists to come through and maybe claim some position in this race. Icoxy up in sixth from nowhere.
Anstey's dropping down, yeah. He's back. Interesting, with Fireman, before coming onto the straight, I think he had an incident with Coxey there, gets a 5-second stop go. Also, on the yellow flags there, obviously no overtaking under the safety car conditions, but Fireman had a little contact, I think, coming on from the back straight. I can't remember who with, but he put him right down into 11th where he is now. I think it was like EVXR or Seagull, one of them. Obviously it's costed him massively because he's now gone from 7th to scoring some points to not scoring any at all as of right now. And unfortunately, he's going to have to push as hard as he can.
Absolutely. That's well, in a wet race, it will ride the driest of moments where cars are all contra concertina effects, really just staying one by one. It's just a orderly queue ready at a, I don't really know where, your local supermarket. It's just so it's just boring to watch a safety car, but it can bring up some spicy action afterwards. So 7-lap shootout then between Emerald, Swarm, Pepsi, you would hope as well. Turtle looks racy. Tron looks like he's got some pace this race. Coxie has come from nowhere and looks like he might spring a surprise. I think the safety car is in this lap, so Emerald, Swarm really can't get caught out again. He knows what he needs to do. He'll need to go as soon as that throttle is put down from Emerald, who's warming up his tyres quite nicely there as well. Probably not great that he's putting it into the cool patches, but he's gone already. I think he's definitely caught Pepsi out. These guys behind the top two really were not expecting that restart, but Swarm knows he needs to get a move on. He knows he needs to keep the back of that Haas all intact, and there's a lot of carnage in the background, one of which is Fireman as well. But let's see if Swarm can make an attack on Exploding Emerald. They head down
It looks like a lost fight.
Yeah. And let's see if he's going to get him into the first corner. Pepsi isn't too far back either. I feel like if Swarm just stuck a little bit tighter to the inside of the first corner there, he'd had a great chance. But let's just see. I don't want to criticise him in any way. Let's see through turn 4 as they head through there, and Emerald still leads. He knows the pressure that's on his shoulders now. With 6 laps to go this race, Swarm knows the pressure that's indeed on Emerald's shoulders. He just needs to take advantage of it. Emerald going a little bit deeper into turn 6, and Pepsi's keeping right with these guys as well. Turtle wasn't far behind him. There's a red ball off in the background, I think, as well. But ultimately, it looks like it could be a down for the race win here. I don't really want to say that because this gap is continuing to extend out, and Swarm is just continuously just trying, just feathering, hoping that he can get this race lead. Emerald doesn't look like he's going to put a foot wrong this race. The Indonesian just looks like it's staying all within his grasp at the moment in the Haas. But it may even be the battle for P2 between Swarm and Pepsi. These guys running second and third. I think that may be even a closer fight than what we're seeing up front at the moment. It just needs a mistake though from Emerald, and this race could be all over for him. It's definitely in the balance.
You gotta feel sorry for Swarm. It was literally 1 lap ago in this exact spot. Already felt like, to be honest, if it was not meant to be. Emerald got the jump on him, and then coming into the final corner onto the start finish, he did Swarm, it seems. But obviously, there's lap 23 of 28. We still have a few more laps to go. Is it enough for Swarm to keep that pressure on? I've seen Swarm many times. I've commentated for F2 many races, and I have a feeling that Swarm might get the jump on him. He has a knack to just have that last minute glory and just, sort of jump out of nowhere. Almost, I called him a viper last season because he just slithered his way into positions. It was extraordinary. Is this going to happen again today here at China? We do not know.
Yeah, it does seem like he needs this win. He desperately needs it. I mean, he struggled. They didn't struggle last year. Last season was a fantastic effort from Swarm, but this is really a season where I think he can kick on. This really could be his season. I'm not going to disregard that. He's definitely got the potential to make something happen in F2 this season. Ultimately, he was in Tier 1 on the very beginning of TWRL, or only there was only 1 tier, but still, he's proved his worth, and he's now showing, can he get back to those Tier 1? Because he's definitely got something about him that just makes me feel like, yes, he's got something that could really hassle the guys in Tier 1. And let's just see if Pepsi's going to be able to get close enough to the back of Swarm. He goes so late on the brakes into turn 14. But he isn't close enough to get the move done yet on the Toro Rosso. We will want to hold on to second because ultimately Pepsi is a championship rival. Swarm is fourth in the championship at the moment. So there is everything to play for there. A Seagull is up into sixth place. Well, that's a tremendous effort from the Red Bull. I'm pretty sure he's in. No, the Sauber he's in. I apologise.
Yeah, I think Troll locked up, ran wide, and then that gave everyone a position up where Troll dropped down. The other Force India into the pits. Disappointing for him. He's only serving his drive-through though.
Absolutely, and Pepsi is sticking right with him. He's just half a second between him and Swarm, and it's staying pretty much as it was. But 4 laps to go, a second place finish would not go down amiss for Pepsi, I'm sure. He won in Australia, and he knows what it takes to win a race in this tier, but he just needs to find these results and keep it consistent now in order to really mount a challenge in this championship. Let's see what he can do on the helm of Swarm in the Toro Rosso, who is doing a pretty good drive, to be fair. He's really just sticking in this race, being nice and consistent, nice and smooth, nice and just keeping it clean. Nothing really overly dramatic from it. But at the moment, you know, let's just see, because it's now through the top of the circuit with Pepsi. Can he get close enough to Hasselwood and make a move? Ansman looks like he's pretty close to the back of Turtle as well. This is a battle for P4. The Ferrari could lose out here. 4th place finish if he's not careful. Ansman has got that penalty, to be fair to him, so it may not be all straightforward, and he goes very late on the brakes, but not late enough to mount a challenge. Those two Salvers, 5th and 6th at the moment, would be probably the best. Brilliant result, to be fair. That's a brilliant result. Those two, and there's a bit of contact, and ultimately he's lost a bit of his front wing, I'm pretty sure there, as Ant-Man, which is going to cost him, and they go side by side towards the first corner. I'm not sure whether Ant-Man's going to have the downforce to really make a move on. Oh, he's not at all, as he may go for the switchback, actually braking a little bit earlier, but not going to get that move done. Pepsi, so back in 3rd place with Swarm, which is probably the battle that everybody else wants to watch. 3 laps to go of this race. The gap is 3.8 seconds between Swarm and Emerald. Emerald is bolting away into the distance now, and it looks like it could, pretty sure, his first win in TWRL. I'm pretty sure. I can't recall him ever winning before in this league. I could be wrong. But Swarm last season.
I know he's been on the podium a few times, I think. I know that.
Yeah.
Much, but I can't quite recall him being on the top of it. But if he does continue the way he is continuing as of right now, he will get that podium spot.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what he wants. To be honest, I'm not sure what he was expecting going into this race. We've got pole position, and it could be a clean sweep. I mean, we do see clean sweeps quite frequently, but one lagged out. I don't know what's happened there. Oh, he's lagged behind Pepsi. Oh,
that's probably from like a screen freeze or something.
Yeah. He's had a screen freeze, he's lost out to Pepsi. This will just spur him on, I'm sure, just to go grab that 2nd place. He just needs to get his teeth in here now, and he really needs to give it a go, because this will not be on the cards at all. A failure on the game's part has cost him a 2nd place finish.
Doesn't Pepsi have 10 seconds?
That's a bit trolled. Okay, I'll take a look at the penalty situation. Pepsi has nothing. Swarm has nothing. These guys have been so clean out the front. Nothing for anything. So,
who was it that had the 10 seconds?
It was Ant-Man.
Okay. I was going to say unlucky for Swarm there then. Obviously.
Yeah, RB14 Seagull. He's on the back of Turtle. He's got past his teammate, and he's now looking to pass the Ferrari as well. So, sure he wasn't thinking this from his lonely grid position was Seagull. And well, to be fair, he started 10th, so where he is at the moment, he could still get 4th in this race. And Turtle is sideways, as you like, with the turn 10 there, and Ant-Man nearly losing it all as well. through turn 10 as well. The Sauber's just trying to mount an attack on this Ferrari, who looks vulnerable to this attack. And it's going to be Seagull versus Turtle, and you really couldn't make this up, could you? Two drivers with these kind of names and these kind of conditions. In fact, we've got Ant-Man in 6th as well, so we've got animals. They are rampant animals going for this. For P4 in this race. Can Seagull get a switchback on Turtle? He's going to give it a goal, nearly squeezed on the front wing of that Sauber. And it's not enough to make the challenge on Turtle, and then he goes for it again. It's a bit malicious, really. And then now just pushing round the boards. That isn't what I wanted to see, if I'm honest. This could end in this could be a plane crash. Or they keep it all together. Is he going to be able to keep it on the inside? Yes, he is. Seagull sticking on the outside. He's just squeezed his way through, just barged his way through, getting his elbows out, and just saying, yep, you're not getting through me in this Ferrari. Just keeping himself head above shoulder, head above the water, I should probably say, in these conditions. But this track has actually dried out massively. Oh, and it's gone again with Seagull. I'm not sure why he's trying to go from that far back. To be honest, Seagulls are tend to go from that far back to steal a chip from a cone, but they won't go this far back on a racetrack, that is for sure. Let's see if he can get the... Oh, it's just a bit... It's so weird, these guys are taking such dynamic lines. I really didn't expect to see that. The guys behind me are starting to close in, have not open EVXR. Got it right that time. And yeah, it's a race win for Emerald. He's absolutely dominated this race, and to be honest, he probably deserves a bit of camera in this race as well. With Seagull's under pressure with his teammate again. Ant-Man, it doesn't really mean much now in the context of the race, but Ant-Man, of course, has a 10-second penalty. So whether he's already taken on, Ant-Man's down the inside actually of his teammate. He's just gone for it. He's made a lunge. He's got past his teammate there, Seagull, and DRS has been enabled on the final lap of this race, so it's dry enough for dry tyres. Is anyone going to come in? And that'd be a bit stupid, but maybe someone will go for a fastest lap, I wonder. Doesn't look like anybody's going to dive into the pits, which is a bit of a shame. Look at Choose getting lapped now by the guys in front. But Swarm now knows that if he gets within a close enough range, he'll be able to challenge Pepsi with DRS, which is a pretty exciting prospect, to be fair. Seagull and Ant-Man still going side by side through the first couple of corners. I feel like this Southfire a bit too much, and No Scope could take advantage. And you know, I'm not sure if he's going to. Oh, and Seagull's nearly on to
very close
again. Absolutely insane stuff. Let's just see. I think Emerald needs a moment to be... Oh, Pepsi's gone wide through turn 10. Swarm is now back on his gearbox again. I'm not sure what's happened to Pepsi, but he lost it all through turn 9 and 10, and now it's only 3 seconds between him and Swarm. But Swarm most definitely has to go for a lunge then for P2 in this race. Oh my goodness me, that's come from absolutely nothing, but Swarm, just as I switch cameras, is now all over the back of Pepsi, and these guys are just hassling, and maybe he's just not got enough left in the tank. Swarm is just going to go absolutely full ham. He's got nothing to lose now as they head down towards turn 14. He's not going to be late enough to make a move. Is he just enough to get the move done though? And Pepsi has just held on, because he damn well nearly lost that on the line there. And it is Exploding Emerald who takes the victory in China. Pepsi in second and Swarm in third. Turtle will come through for fourth place at the moment. There is an absolute carnage behind. Ant-Man will come home to finish fifth, but that will drop positions as well. So No Scope by EVRXO will get into P6. Seagull, pretty sure his best result of the season so far. John will be gutted with P9 because he was really looking strong for a good points finish today. But P9 and Feynman, his teammate, the two Force Indias, 9th and 10th. Feynman would not think that a point is satisfactory at all. That could play huge roles in the championship fight. Icoxy was 6th during the safety car, but only come through for P11 this race. Is really desperate for him. He really is victory and has taken victory in this Grand Prix. What a tremendous effort.
What a very good
Get
drive
a
from
win
him.
like that.
Well deserved to him. And at 2 a.m. in the morning for him as well. That is very impressive for him. But he's a reserve, is he not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a reserve.
So
that goes to show, doesn't it? Actually, that means those points go to... That was in essence a race win that Swarm technically lost there then, because the points will get added in that fashion.
Yeah.
As I'm pretty sure if he's a reserve, then that's going to be the case. I'm just going to find a way of getting Pepsi on there you go, sorted.
Gentlemen, is your microphone set to include posse audio?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, these guys know the deal.
Emerald, can we start with you? Obviously, very well done. Was you surprised as to where you would finish today?
Yeah, I'll be honest, yeah. I don't know how I have that pace. I don't even know if I'm me anymore. I think I'm a machine. I think I'm a robot. I don't know.
Very impressive. You think that with everyone, the safety car especially, do you think the safety car had Swarm got you under the safety car conditions, do you think you would have been able to get it back, or do you think it would have been a bit of a fight?
I think it would be a bit of a fight.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
Okay.
really, I'm just kept away from trouble there.
yeah, and that's something that you want within a race. And well, then moving on to Swarm. Result you was after? Are you happy?
No. I had a screen freeze on lap 25.
Yeah, we
so
thought that.
gave
We thought,
Pepsi pretty much a lead, because obviously where everyone was reserved, he didn't score points. And I had Pepsi at bay, and I knew he wouldn't get by, and the screen freeze hit me, and I was so fucking pissed off. So I should have technically won it, or got second, but I don't know why it hit me with a screen freeze on lap 25 out of all of them. But, yeah.
Pepsi, bit of luck on your terms there then. Are you happy with where you came? Obviously, it was a bit of a fight for it, but...
Well, yeah, I technically won that race. But no, well done to Emerald. I got wing damage on that first corner, so I was just losing time to Emerald and Swarm in the first stint. The safety car came out, luckily, so I changed my wing, dropped down to 6 under the safety car. Had a good fight with Ant-Man, and then it was me and Swarm, and he had a screen freeze. So thank you very much, Swarm. But I was on level with Swarm once I had a full wing, let's just say that. I was losing time in the first stint because of my damage. But happy with the second/first.
But you glad I wasn't racing.
Right, I think that wraps up China then. The next race is Monza, I believe, in Tier 1, sponsored by your man Swarm here.
Monza? Ooh.
Jack London.
Oh!
So Italy, one of the fastest, or if not the fastest track on the calendar right now. It'll be very interesting to see who has the outright pace.
I'll need to think of a pun. We've got from China, Shanghai, and we're going to be going from a place that's been as wet as literally anything you've ever seen in your life. But anyway, we're going to go to the Temple of Speed next week, and we're going to kick it so hard that it's just going to see some action. If you recall TWRL, first few seasons TWRL, pretty sure 0.5 we had Italy, and it was finished the top 2 by 0.2 of a second. It was wheel to wheel on the line, so you can't really miss that if that's anything to go by. There's your pole factor. You need nothing more than that.
Well then.
Please carry on, Tom.
That is. Yeah. Sorry. So, thank you for that insight of what is to come at Monza. So I have been Scar, Tom, and this has been James. Sorry, I had a brain fart. brain fart there. I apologise, but yeah. So
Can
that is
so relate.
TWRL. Bye bye for now.
God.